I am the internet, and I like it when KSSU is on me.
Welcome, Matt and Tech Show, minus Tech Show. I am back from a week off last week, or honestly still I am. I was a little sick, so I had a terrible voice. I was coughing every minute or so I think a show would have been a terrible idea. But I'm back, and I'm healthy, but not necessarily healthy. But I'll try not to cough on air. We'll see what happens. Today on the show is cool. I haven't done this in probably since my first semester, but I'm going to do a show all of covers. That last song was by Jack Johnson, a song called Bad Fish, originally done by Sublime. Both versions are amazing songs, but I thought I'd show you that one. We'll go through the entire day, and I'll do a bunch of tributes and covers of some famous songs by artists you maybe never heard of, or some you have. We'll go through and do that. And then today I'm going to go through and just go through a kind of a wrap-up of all these interesting articles, news stories, or things that have happened in this past week or two, and talk about those. But we'll go right to the next song right now. This song, made famous by Bob Dylan, but made even more famous, in my opinion, by Jimi Hendrix. The song's called All Along the Watchtower. We'll hear it here. Come back, talk about something I purchased recently. Matt Tech Show. Do me a favor, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Matt and Tex, and like our page if you haven't already. Updated some news information. Our live recordings will be on there from every show we've done since the past two semesters, and I usually upload them right after the show now because I have a break until my class at 6, so they usually go up pretty quickly, so you can listen to all your favorite episodes prior, or ones you've missed. That was All Along the Watchtower from Jimi Hendrix, originally by Bob Dylan. Cool song. Just recently, I am the proud owner of a piece of Mars. If you go to ThinkGeek.com, a website that I go to very often and buy a large amount of things, it's a website for all your nerd memorabilia and items. And right now they're selling pieces of Mars as well as pieces of the moon. But Mars seems a little more impressive. There was an asteroid, and the asteroid's name is NWA 4930, which I guess impacted Mars, and then the debris from Mars flew across the solar system and landed somewhere in Africa. And the remains of this asteroid, after being tested and studied by science, have been broken apart, and now you can own, 2 milligrams, which is a little larger than a grain of sand, of Mars, for the low price of $25. They put in a cool little plaque, or a little laminated thing. Pretty cool. I haven't gotten it yet. It's in the mail, on its way. But I am an owner of a piece of Mars. You can also do the same thing for the moon. Same sort of deal. I don't believe they're from any of the Apollo missions, but I think they came from an asteroid impact as well. So that's really cool. Purchase that. Go find yours today. I also bought from ThinkGeek.com. I had to get it first. It was on sale, and I have a bunch of candles in my room, and I always light those. And this is a candlestick lightsaber. So it's a lightsaber base, and it comes with 3 candles, and they're all red, and they're proportionate, so that looks like a lightsaber. Very cool. Bought it. Haven't lit it yet. It's still sitting there just decoratively. I don't want to waste all the candles, but someday I'll burn it, and it'll be cool. But ThinkGeek.com is one of my favorite places to buy nerd stuff. I also bought two Christmases ago, on air Tex. I bought Tex a gift. Maybe it wasn't Christmas. It was a birthday or something. But I bought him a gift, and it was from ThinkGeek.com. It was bookends that hold up the book from your bookshelf, from one of his favorite games, Portal. And he loved it. We opened it on there. You can go back and find that recording on Facebook.com/Matt and Tex under live recordings. So yeah, ThinkGeek.com is where I bought all that stuff. Very cool. I guess that's a free ad for them right now. We'll go to the next cover song. This one was requested to me. The song is called Some Kind of Wonderful, originally done by the Soul Brothers 6. Not very popular at all, but made famous to our generation by Joss Stone. So we'll listen to that, come back, and we'll talk about some more asteroid or comet or Earth objects again when we come back from this song. Matt Tech Show. KSSU.com. Joss Stone with Some Kind of Wonderful. This is the Matt Tech Show on KSSU.com. So, something exciting is that's happening actually twice this year, which is pretty rare. Maybe every 5 or 10 years we get something like this. Usually once a year. A comet is going to be visible in the northern hemisphere. Actually, currently is visible. Comet called Pan-STARRS, named after the observatory that found it in Hawaii. Two weeks ago, I talked about near-Earth objects, about asteroids and comets, and I discussed a comet that was going on, and it's still going to happen, as far as we know, in November. But this comet right now actually just came out of nowhere. It's called Pan-STARRS, and you could see it from past couple days. I think starting on the 7th, it actually broke the horizon, but it's very low on the horizon, and then it'll go on actually until the end of the month, about March 24th, around there. It's orbiting the sun. It's just like every other planet that's closer to the sun. You can only really see it once the sun sets, and right after sunset. So the cool thing about this is wait about 20, 30, 40 minutes after sunset. Look right in the western horizon, southwest horizon, where the sun is set, and you should see this comet. It's not too bright, but it's actually getting brighter and brighter. Today is a decent view. Tomorrow and tomorrow the 12th and March 13th will be the best time to see it. It should be the brightest, and actually on the 12th and 13th, the moon will be right around in that same direction. So for any photographers or like myself, or just observers, it'll be a nice comparison to see the size between the comet and the moon. Both, one being a much farther distance, but you can see the brightness and stuff like that. At this point, I have not seen it, and I've never in my life seen a comet with my naked eye. And I'm still trying to see it. The last couple nights, I've been trying to get in high locations to see, because at this point it's very low on the horizon. You can only see it for a small window of time and only so high in the sky. And the last couple nights, it's been clear skies right above us and beautiful nights, but right where the sun sets, right off the coast of California, there's been high clouds that have obstructed my view, so I haven't been able to see it yet. Tonight I'm going to try. I have a class though from 6 to 8:50. I'm going to ask my teacher if I can leave class for 10 to 15 minutes just to try and see if I can take photos. Sunset tonight is about 7:10. Thanks to daylight savings, it's 7 o'clock now. 7:10, and the peak window would probably be about 7:40, 7:50. So I'm going to see if I can get out of class a little bit and come back. Because I parked right on top of the parking structure, and I looked at the line of sight. It looks right over downtown, so it'd be a nice view if I can get it. But we'll see if I get any sort of cloud system. So what you'll do is look again 30 minutes to 40 minutes after sunset, right in the western horizon. You'll have to, don't look at the sun, of course, because you'll blind yourself, but just wait for the sun to set. Last couple nights, because of the clouds, they've been beautiful sunsets, but too many clouds have been obstructing the comet. So the higher and higher it gets throughout the month, the more likely I'll be able to see it if there's no clouds. But at this point, I haven't seen it. But I will try tonight, and if I get any good photos, I'll put them on the Facebook page. But look for yourself. Anywhere, if you're a listener in the northern hemisphere, look after the sunset for this comet. It should be cool. And in November, you'll have an even better view, an even larger comet, and it's supposed to be, if it happens the way it should be even brighter than the full moon and even larger. So we don't have to wait till sunset. You can actually see it during the day at its peak brightness. So that should be a really cool view. But for now, we'll have to stick with the small one, and I hope I see one because I never have, and I love astronomy, and you guys know that. We'll go right to the next song, a band that I believe is the greatest rock and roll band of all time. Has done some covers in their time. Led Zeppelin have done many covers. Their big influence is blues, and that's kind of their what I think makes them unique for their time was the blues rock. At that time, blues was more of an African American or a black musical genre that started American, and these white guys from England decided to take it over and give it a little twist. So I like what they do. This song, originally done by Muddy Waters, which is an American blues singer. The song is called "You Shook Me." Off their, it's actually a live recording from a BBC session they did in the late 60s or early 70s, but really love it. You know what? Yes. "You Shook Me," Led Zeppelin. We'll come back, talk about more news going on. Matt and Tech Show. "You Shook Me" by Led Zeppelin, originally by Muddy Waters. Today is the cover episode where I play famous covers, or non-famous covers, but covers nonetheless, by artists that I like. So if you don't know already, I work in the mobile phones industry. I work at Verizon, and I currently work at Best Buy Mobile. Cell phones, all types of phones, all types of plans. A new announcement, actually, one of the more popular phones, other than the iPhone, which is a very popular phone, but a phone that's, or a company that's kind of bridging that gap between Apple and Android devices is Samsung. Samsung right now has the Galaxy S3 on all the three major carriers, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, again, on all three carriers, Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint. And they're just as popular, if not more popular, than the iPhone at this point, or the iPhone 5 at least. And they've been doing a really good job at making quality products that consumers want, and making Android a little more friendly for everyone. Right now, the Galaxy S3 was announced last year. The Galaxy S4 has been rumored, and Samsung now will announce all the specs, all the device details, who it'll be, what it'll cost, who will have the phone on March 14th. So a couple days from now in New York, they'll have a press conference, or a kind of a big conference in New York City where they'll discuss, I believe, other Samsung related news, but one of the big things will be this Samsung Galaxy S4. Well, they'll show actually the body. There's been a bunch of rumors of what it'll look like, what it'll consist of. Currently, the Note 2, which is the newest Samsung device, has a quad-core processor. All the rumors are saying that the new Galaxy S4 will have the same quad-core processor, which is very fast and very good at multitasking. You can always suspect that the camera will be a little better. You can always suspect that the resolution on the screen will be better. The big question is whether or not it'll be bigger than the Galaxy S3, the current phone out. If it'll be smaller than the current phone Note 2, the Note 2, which is a huge phone, probably the biggest phone in the American market at least. Very large screen. Some people love it, some people don't. So we won't know if Samsung will go for the large size, the in between, or not. But we'll see what they do. All on March 14th. Some breaking, or some exciting news. I have an upgrade coming up, so maybe this will be a phone I get actually towards the end of the year. But we'll see. The Galaxy S3 has been a really big seller. It's a really good price on it. All the great specs, and if someone's I see a lot of more people going from iOS or Apple's devices to Android now. So I think the tides have turned finally. I think the iPhone is still a great phone, but I don't think it's no longer the top dog. But we'll see what happens on the 14th, if this phone is worthy enough to beat out the iPhone 5. And of course, the iPhone 5, the next generation is always around the corner. Apple's always working on next one, and they usually do something towards the end of summer. Usually when school starts back up again, or for the next holiday. So we can only imagine an iPhone 5S, if they would call it that. Or I don't imagine that the 6 will be out, but you can always imagine something's a little different, maybe a processor, because they went from the 4 to the 4S, adding Siri and a little better processor, and now they're currently at the 5. We can only imagine what's going to be on the next phone, but I can imagine that's just around the corner too. So some big phones coming out just before the end of the year. And we'll talk about that as soon as they come out on the Matt and Tech Show. Right now, we'll go to one more song and then a commercial break. Again, because it is the cover episode, I'm playing another cover. Van Halen is a band my dad is a big fan of. They do a song called "Dancing in the Street," which is originally done by Martha and the Vandellas. Don't know where that is and who that is and when that came out, but that's the original song. But they do a song, or they do this cover called Dancing in the Street. We'll listen to that, go to our commercial break, come back, and do some even more covers and some more headline news here on the Matt and Tech Show. Welcome back to the Matt and Tech Show. That was our commercial break. And today is a cover episode, so we'll go right to another cover. We'll go to a cover. This song is called Cocaine. Originally done by a person called J.J. Cale, and I think made a lot more famous by a man named Eric Clapton, an Englishman who plays a mean guitar. My dad, I am told this is his favorite song. I think there's no relation to actual drug use, but he loves the song. It's an iconic song of that era, and people love it. We'll play that right now. We'll come back and talk about a terrible video game launch, something Tex has some information about, but Tex isn't here, so I'll talk for him. But this song is called Cocaine by Eric Clapton. Cocaine by Eric Clapton. Today is the cover episode. I talk a lot about science, space, nerd stuff, and recently a lot about astronomy and stuff like that. If any of this interests you and you understand the importance of NASA, which is a government-funded space organization, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. If you're interested in supporting NASA, because the sequestration that's been going on, their funds have been cut even more. There is an organization that I guess I'm not really a part of, but that I follow. You can find them on Facebook. You can go to the website. An organization called Penny for NASA. Currently, the amount you pay in taxes is 0.48, so 0.48% of the tax you pay actually goes to NASA. What this organization wants to do is raise that to a penny, if that makes sense, or 1% of the tax you pay to NASA. During the space race, I think it was up to 10% of what we paid in taxes went to NASA, but right now we're at 0.4%. So this organization helps you to find ways to talk to the government, talk to Congress. They'll even, all you have to do is go to the website, type in your address, and they'll have you write a direct letter to your congressman, which I have done and got responded back to. Go ahead and go to this website, pennyfornasa.com, or I'm sorry, pennyfornasa.org. Go to their Facebook page. If you're interested at all in helping out NASA or more space funding, that is the place to go. And I would do a lot more to ensure that we can go. We can research more. One of the more famous astronomers at this point in time is a guy named Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is a very outspoken, very pop culturally popular right now, actually, astronomer. He talks a lot on talk shows and he makes YouTube videos and all this stuff. He was on Jon Stewart Daily Show the other day, and he was talking about how he would feel embarrassed if there were other life forms in the universe. He would feel embarrassed if we, as a human race, were to be destroyed by an asteroid only because our technology, only because we wouldn't spend the money to have technology to prevent that. There's been a lot of asteroids that have hit this Earth, and they seem to be more frequent now, only because there are more people per square mile on Earth than there were thousands of years ago. So these asteroid events seem to be more common now, only because there's more people that inhabit Earth that can see it, and we have all these images, pictures, and videos to show them to the world. So Neil deGrasse Tyson feels we need to research more on how to prevent these asteroid impacts, how to better understand these asteroids' projectiles and the effects of these. There is an asteroid actually coming towards Earth in about, I don't know what he said, in the 2020s or 2030s, that is actually very close to hitting Earth. It's not going to, as far as I can tell now, the trajectory isn't going to impact Earth, but it's going to become very, very close, and it's actually a very large asteroid, a lot larger than the one that hit or exploded over Russia. So he wants to have a program or have a system that can actually deflect this or even just practice deflecting these things, because he, like I said, he would be embarrassed for the human race if we were just to die out because we couldn't prevent something like an asteroid. He's a very funny guy. He makes science a lot of fun for everyone who hears what he has to say, and he's very popular right now. You can look up on YouTube, and he does a lot of cool videos, and he's on a lot of talk shows and stuff like that. So he's pretty cool. But back to what I mentioned earlier, I was talking about how a video game has had a terrible launch. A game called SimCity, which is probably well known to anyone who's ever played video games on the computer. It is one of the more popular PC games that were out when PC gaming was popular, when it first kind of arrived on the non-Windows Windows operating systems. My brother played it quite a bit. I played it a little bit, but I was too young to kind of understand the concepts. But basically, you create your own city, you run houses, you run the power, you run the water supply, you run public facilities, parks and homes and buildings and works and stuff, and you can destroy it with earthquakes or tornadoes or acts of war or alien invasions, or you can make it thrive, and you as the owner of the city, you as the manager or the mayor or the governor, can profit well and just have all these people and grow a larger and larger city for you to rule, and people really love it. Tex was into it. He had a whole huge city, and he said something about his sister one time played it and everything was erased, and he never played Sims again because he was so mad. But the new SimCity came out from EA, or Electronic Arts, and people are upset because the game is so massive. Because of all the new perks and all the new add-ons that you can do for it. A lot of it is online based, so a lot of it is all on servers, and you connect to the internet, and it all downloads straight to your computer. So the way it works is you have to actually connect to the internet, and you have to connect this to EA servers to get the information. The big issue now was released on March 7th, which is only a couple days. The big issue is loading. It takes, some people are reporting it takes 30 minutes or more before they can even start a game, because all the stuff, because of the delay of the servers, which should not be 30 minutes for you to wait for a game. So EA, actually, in a BBC article I was reading, EA says, the article itself is EA apologizes for quote unquote dumb SimCity's launch. They're very upset about what happened. They did it in a poor manner. Quote unquote, they said in the BBC article, the company said the way it has been set up was dumb, and it is and they really feel bad about the way gamers have suffered. I'm not impacted by this much at all, but it is frustrating. If the game itself is probably $50 or $60, so spending all that money and you cannot really play it in the time you want to play it. So EA actually is giving away a free PC game for everyone that has purchased SimCities, and they're having this issue. So good for EA, but it's something they probably could have prevented if they did a little more, some beta testing or something like that. But that's been in the news pretty recently, so I thought I'd share with some video game friends and listeners. And Tex, I know Tex didn't buy it, but I know he was a SimCities fan, so I think he can relate there. We'll talk more about. We'll talk about something if I can before. Probably not. Actually, the show's gonna end soon. But I'll probably I'll talk about it after this next song. And this next song, it is a cover episode. Is a cover. The song is Just Like Heaven. Sorry for losing my voice. I am a little sick. It's been happening recently. But the song's called Just Like Heaven, originally by The Clash. I'm sorry, not The Clash. I just lied there. It's originally by The Cure. You can understand my mix-up there. But this is the cover is by a girl named Kat Edmondson, who kind of gives it a little twist, more of a. I've been into bossa nova lately, which is a kind of a Brazilian style, and so I'm listening to Brazilian or bossa nova radio on Pandora, and this song came up, and it's got a different, cool little style, kind of emphasizes the idea of bossa nova. So I like it. So I thought I'd share with you. Just Like Heaven, Kate Edmondson. We'll play the last song after this, and we'll go home, or I'll go home, and you'll listen next week. So, Just Like Heaven. That's Just Like Heaven by Kat Edmondson. This is the Matt and Tex Show, and that was our last song for the day. Today was the cover episode. Thanks for listening. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/MattandTex. If you missed any of the show, you can find it on the live recording show in a couple hours when I post it. Thanks for listening again. See you next week. Send your requests to the Facebook page, and we'll come back next week for some great music. Stay tuned for the next DJ. Really cool. CasesU.com.